Sebring in Florida, round 1 of 7 in the 2023 FIA World Endurance Championship. And it is here in the USA that Hypercar finally comes of age with a host of new arrivals.
The whole time. They're jumping up and down.
The familiar and the unfamiliar. Faces, cars, different lineups, different uniforms, but the same racing ethos. And we get our season underway at one of the world's legendary circuits. After tight battle in qualifying, pole in GTE Am, going to the Iron Dames in their new machinery. They're in a Porsche this year. In LMP2, it was equally tight at the top. Front of the grid, the 23 United Auto sports car that won here in 2022. Among the debutantes, US brand Cadillac Racing, a full season entry, making their World Endurance debut here on home soil in Sebring. But it is Toyota that is the benchmark in the World Endurance Championship Hypercar class. They didn't take pole though. That honour went to newcomers Ferrari as they return to top flight sports cars for the first time in half a century.
Everybody, big round of applause.
30 seconds on the grid, under 30 seconds to start the first of 2 formation laps. 15 seconds. Green flag for the start of the first of 2 formation laps. We have the flag for the start of 2 formation laps.
Ready to go racing in Sebring. The drivers requested a second formation lap. The race starts at the end of the first. And then we go. Hypercar comes of age in 2023. Ferrari leads into the first turn. Antonio Fuoco from pole. And look at the second red and yellow Ferrari. That is Alessandro Pierguidi sneaking in front of Mike Conway. Conway's down the inside again though. He's right alongside and he's got the advantage. Has he got enough grip? On board, look, you see that car's moving around on their still cold tyres. But Conway back up into third place. Alessandro Pierguidi in fourth place, just ahead of the first of the Porsches, the number 6 car, Lawrence Van Toor. Number 2, Alex Lynn, the blue caddy, in between the 2 Porsches. Sticks his nose in. Ooh, that's going to be tight. Right from the very start of the race, newcomers Ferrari taking the battle to Toyota. And in the GT field, Look at this, just as close as ever. Oh, back of the field, Claudio Schiavone, last man on the grid. Harmless spin, luckily nobody in the way. There is Sarah Bovey in the Iron Dames Porsche. They've changed from Ferrari for the last few years to Porsche for this year. Ben Keating right behind, drove an Aston Martin last year. He is in a Corvette this year.
Box, Loic, straight to the tent.
No, that's a disaster for Peugeot. Their first full season with the 9X8, and Loic Duval being sent behind the wall. They've got major dramas after 4 laps. Ben Keating in the lead of GTE Am and pulling away quickly from Sarah Bovey. Take a look at how this happened. Bovey runs out a little wide, loses traction on the curves, but great. From turn 1 down into turn 2, Ben Keating goes through. And Sarah Bovey comes right back at him, retakes the lead down into turn 1. This is going to be a great GT battle. Oh, behind trouble! That's Luis Perez Companc. He just got through into 3rd place and he loses it in turn 1. The car is upside down. Let's take a look here. He just carries a little too much speed over the bumps into the tyre wall. It's a pretty low speed roll, but that could be a safety car. Safety car will be scrambled here. Luis Perez Companc is fine, the Argentine driver, a real motor racing veteran, but their car is out, and Peugeot's maybe as well. Major work going on under the front and the rear of the car. We understand transmission issues. There's the boss of the Peugeot group in the blue cap. He's a keen amateur racer as well. And Ferrari into the pit lane. So with a safety car out, very early into the stint, they're going for fuel. Now don't forget, this is not a race team yet. They have tested this car since last summer. Oh, and trouble for 51 there as 50 gets released. It wasn't quite in its pit box. They weren't ready for that. Alessandro Pierguidi shakes his head. Toyota stayed out, Porsche stayed out, Cadillac and the remaining Peugeot stayed out, but there are a host of GTE pit stops as well. This is only 20 minutes into the race. Very early indeed. They didn't need fuel, but the opportunity to take a chance to top up under the safety car, almost the entire GT field has done it. Now then, Loic Duval back from the garage. Obviously, any chances of a great finish for this car have been wiped out by that early stop, but what can they learn now? This is all about endurance testing for the rest of the season, and especially for Le Mans. Split strategies in LMP2. Some teams brought both cars in, some brought neither in, and some have brought one but not the other. We are about to go back to green.
No overtaking before the line, please. Safety car is in the pits.
Well, that is a different rule from US racing, where once you go green, you grow green wherever you are on the track. In World Endurance Championship, you can't pass until you start a new lap. So it is Toyota 1-2, Porsche and Caddy, and trouble. That's Glickenhaus. The Glickenhaus back up to speed now, but Ryan Briscoe was going very slowly on the lap up to green, and so the group behind our leaders could not get by him. So Toyota 1-2, well, that's taken a dozen laps, and the benchmarks in the category, with a car that is very much improved on last year, are leading the race. But Porsche giving chase, and Roger Penske, the 86-year-old boss of the Penske organization, here as well to watch the action. WRT and Jota stayed out with both their cars.
6 laps to go after this one. Good job, Sean. Come on.
Sean Gelael in second. That is Robert Kubica who leads for WRT, and the Toyotas in amongst the GTE Am field. The Porsche, Christian Ried, the Aston Martin right in front of us, Paul Dall'Anna, two of the bronze drivers in the field, and that separated number 8 from number 7. Look, the 7 car can't quite squeeze through there, needs a little bit more room. It is hard to overtake quick cars here. It's hard to overtake everybody here at Sebring. This is a tight old school race circuit. Ferrari coming back up the order, picks off the 93 Peugeot. So that moves the Ferrari number 50 back up into 6th position. And don't forget, they've got more fuel on board, so the cars ahead of them, the two Toyotas, the two Porsches and the Cadillac, will stop before the Ferrari needs to again. So we're on two different strategies already, just half an hour and more into this race. Riding on board with the number 50 car, Antonio Fuoco, over these vicious bumps. This is more of a rally stage than it is a modern race circuit. These are 2 meter square slabs of concrete laid in the 1940s. Into the pit lane comes the first of the two Jota cars. They have two cars here. 28 is a full season entry. The leader is in, and there's a driver change as well. And that puts the number 23 car of Oliver Jarvis, the blue United Autosports car, into the lead now. They took fuel earlier behind the safety car. So again, LMP2 split between we have fuel and we needed fuel. GTE battle, PJ Hyatt in the Porsche, Takeshi Kimura, the car guy. Oh, and a spin in 17. He's caught a bump, carried in a bit too much speed, ran wide, backed it into the tyres. Looks like he's done no damage. Well, watch where the tyre wall moves to. That's going to be full course yellow. Battle between the Porsche of Lawrence Vanthoor and Alex Lynn in the Cadillac. Alex Lynn's tyres have done 29 laps, but we're only on lap 26. That's because those are not brand new tyres. They were used in qualifying as well.
Okay, Mike, feel free to adjust the anti-roll bar front if you need for balance. It looks like we're using a bit more rear tires than sub.
Well, really important for the two Toyota teams to know where they are versus their rivals. Right now, it looks like Toyota might have the whip hand here in Sebring. You can see that the full course yellow has been scrambled, the tyre wall being pushed back. On board with the number 8 Toyota. We go back to green flag racing once more in Sebring, number 8 leading, and the Toyota last year bouncing all over the place. It looked really horrible to drive here at Sebring. This year, really much more comfortable.
Pit lane, car 15, drive-through penalty for overtaking another car before the end of the safety car procedure.
Oh, disaster for Antonio Fuoco. This is the replay on board. It's the D station car now. The start line is not that gantry. The start line is there, and he was clearly in front. Drive-through penalty being served by the Ferrari. This is all part of stopping being a test team and beginning to become a race team. And for the drivers as well. Although Fuoco raced in GTE Pro last year, it's a different kettle of fish here with the pressure of being a full factory prototype team. Oh, more trouble there. That's one of the WRT cars battling with the two gold Jota machines in LMP2, and the Ferrari getting in amongst them. That's Antonio Fuoco. This took a lick again in this tight section right at the end of the lap. Luckily there is a bit of runoff area, nothing to hit there. LMP2 really catching light. Josh Pearson's just taken over the lead United car, 23. WRT, Jota and Prema. That's the 4-car train for second place behind. This battle really taking light now.
I think the team made the right call. It's never easy with a safety car that early, but you know, I think that hopefully will work in our favour as the race progresses. We've got a fabulous race car, so we've just got to do our jobs and try and stay out of trouble and just keep putting in consistent lap times.
8 hours or 1,000 miles here at Sebring. It is the second longest distance of the season. We have an 8-hour race at Bahrain to round it up, and of course the longest race, the 24 hours of Le Mans. So all of the pit stops here, not only crucial for this race, but crucial practice after 4 or 5 months with not having done a real live race stop. Absolutely vital, and for the new teams like Ferrari, like Porsche, really important that they match what Toyota can do in the pit lane. This team, Toyota's been here for a decade already. The new teams, Porsche, Penske, Cadillac here, they're brand new to this form of racing, so they're going to have to learn all of the rules and the intricacies and get the cars and the teams up to speed. It's going to be a 2-part battle for them this season, one on the track, the other in the pit lane. Great battle for third place between the two Penske Porsches and the Cadillac. Great names from the racing firmament in the US working their way through here. You can see PJ Hyatt ahead of Ben Keating, both American drivers, both bronzes in their teams. Hyatt has done one race in the WEC, that was in Bahrain at the end of last year. And Ben Keating in his 5th season in the World Endurance Championship. Northwest AMR just being passed for the lead by Iron Dames, but they're on a different fuel strategy to the Corvette of Keating. And here's an inter-team rivalry between the two Jota cars, and one going into the pit lane, following in the WRT machine. United leading. The 28 Jota car stays out. The 48 Hertz car, not a full season entry though. They will be driving the Porsche Hypercar that Jota will run coming into Le Mans. So United lead. 28 Jota stays out for the moment, but I think we'll stop soon, and then we're going to see a slew of stops behind. Michael Christensen defending hard against Alex Lynn. Oh, look at the Porsche over the bumps. He's lost rear tyre grip. Alex Lynn down the inside. Now, he's been chasing the Porsche all over the back of Christensen for half a dozen laps. Finally manages to thrust his way through. He's got a little bit more grip, but even a Cadillac is not looking like it's got a lot of tyre life left. You don't get a chance to change your tyres every fuel stop in this category. You've got to make them last. Ferdy Habsburg down the inside of David Heinemeier Hansen's Jota car. That's a change for 8th. Habsburg fresh into the car and on the attack immediately. Loves nothing more than to scythe past other cars. Oh, look out. Oh, that's a close one. Alex Lynn piling the pressure on Porsche's Lawrence Vantor, car number 6. This is for 3rd place now behind the 2 Toyotas, so best of the rest. And again, Alex Lynn having disposed of the number 5 car.
We're working on a plan. We understand the situation. We are working on a plan. You just do your best. Track position at the moment's priority.
Well, Vantor coming towards the end of the fuel stint and definitely coming towards the end of the tyre life on the Penske Porsche. And you could hear clearly he's been on the radio going, come on, give me a help here.
Okay, Ali, lift and coast for 17 to let the sister car by. Lift and coast 17, let the sister car by, please.
Okay, stop brake, Michael, and let me by.
So Alessandro Pierguidi being asked to move aside for the number 50 car of Antonio Fuoco. Pierguidi and James Collado, the reigning world champions in GTE Pro, the last ever world champions in GTE Pro. Having to move aside for the car that supported them to that title last year. No easy passes for Alex Lynn. Look at this, right up behind Lawrence Vantor in the Porsche, almost running into the back of him, and then, oh, on the exit of 10 across the grass. Thinks better of it. Lawrence Vantor clinging on to 3rd right now.
I am absolutely so tired.
Hang in there, mate. Hang in there. Defend.
Absolutely soaked. I'm not surprised. Alex Lynn in the blue Cadillac, really pushing hard. Take a look at this. Out of Sunset, onto the front straight. Lynn coming down the dirty side. Lawrence Vantor not leaving him any room. Here we go again. Alex Lynn trying once more. He is tucked right up under the Porsche. Sends it down the inside into turn 1. Has he overcommitted? Look at Lawrence Vantor. He's got no grip at all. Porsche skipping across the bumps. Lynn's on the inside. He's still there down into turn 2 and through he goes. He's up into 3rd place. It's going to be a season-long duel for these cars, isn't it? You can just see that shaping up. Andre Lotterer back at Porsche, loving this action. And a driver change here, and fresh tyres on the 963. And the key for Kevin Esch as he takes over the car will be to bring those brand new tyres in as gently as he can, so there's some life left in the 2nd stint.
We decided on a strategy to try and cover the Cadillac, because at the moment that's our main component. And we wanted to keep track position, but I mean, we had literally no tire left in the end, and even I was I knew it from the first laps and I was saving, but it was tough, and I tried to hang in there as long as I could. But yeah, eventually it was over. So hopefully it will be a bit more easy on my next stint.
There's a lot of learning going on here. David Beckmann learning fast in a Hertz Team Jota car, the German making his debut in the World Endurance Championship, and under pressure from Ferdi Habsburg. Habsburg now becoming quite something of a sports car veteran, raced in single-seaters and DTM, and now his third season in WEC. Pit stop for the number 50 Ferrari driver change as well. Antonio Fuoco hops out, and in gets Miguel Molina. See the names there on little seat insert, but he and Fuoco are basically the same size, so they don't need to change the seat. Just resetting all the controls. Driver change at Glickenhaus as well. Out gets Ryan Briscoe, and Romain Dumas slips back into the car. Jim Glickenhaus and his team were at the forefront of the arrival of Hypercar, and Dumas will have cold tyres when he leaves the pit lane. There are no tyre warmers, no tyre ovens here. Drive-through penalty being served by the number 2 Cadillac, and the Glickenhaus comes out in front. Well, now the Cadillac's already on tyres that are fully up to temperature, so this will be an easy pass. The moment the Glickenhaus comes down into turn 17, the last corner on the lap, because the World Endurance pit lane is on the back straight, the Ullmann straight. You can see already the Cadillac just goes right around the outside. He's got hot tyres, they've got grip. More racing between our Hypercar newcomers. Floyd Van Wall. That is the number 4 car, Tom Dillman. And just being passed again by the number 6 Porsche. Van Wall, a brand new program, different from everything else, using a normally aspirated Gibson V8 and being driven by Jacques Villeneuve later in the stint. The Ferrari of Stefano Constantini trying to put in the moves on Satoshi Hoshino down at the hairpin. Ooh, little contact there. And Axel Jeffries goes through in the second Aston Martin, the Northwest AMR car. They haven't had the best race so far, but they're gradually creeping back up the order. And watch here, down into this tight right-hander. Hoshino just holding a slightly wider line. Battle for 5th place in LMP2. Philip Urgan, a newcomer from Romania. Well, this is where he went through on the 41 car of Angola's Rui Andrade, being chased by 63 Frenchwoman Dorian Pan. So you've got Romania, France and Angola. Some nations with lots of motor racing history here, some just creating their own. Back with our battle for the lead in Hypercar and overall. Fresh tyres for Brendan Hartley. They are coming up to speed, but Kamui Kobayashi piling on the pressure from behind. Number 7 car stops a couple of laps before the number 8 car. Now they have closed right up.
Full course yellow. We are under full course yellow.
Oh, well, that's the Glickenhaus. Now then, Romain Dumas, that's at turn 17, Sunset Bend. Has he had a spin? He hasn't hit anything.
Suddenly I lost like electricity, but the dash still on. Nothing. I try crank 2.
Now the engine is on or not?
If you look at the data, you will see that it's off.
Try spare fuel pump. Spare fuel pump.
That is not good news for Glickenhaus, but the car's out of the way. We go back to green flag racing. Here we go with the number 7 Toyota. Number 8 right in front, and there's traffic. This could be an opportunity for them to pass. Pit stop completed for our LMP2 leader. The number 23 United car had such a big lead, they have been able to go into the pits and come back out without losing the lead. And in fact, their rivals, their closest rivals, the 48 Jota car, nowhere in sight as they come down into turn 17. That is a huge advantage for United, and they must hang on to it. Ben Keating finally, after nearly 3 hours, has completed his drive in the lead car in GTE Am. He's in the pits. Iron Dames have already made their stop from Sarah Bovey to Rahel Fry. Ben Keating's got 2 new teammates this season. Nicky Katzberg yet to get into the car. This is Argentina's Nicolas Varone. And while they're stopped, through goes the Porsche. New leader then. The Porsche and the Corvette battled for pole position. The Porsche won out, and now it retakes the lead of the race.
It's interesting. The track has changed quite a bit since any time in practice, because so many cars are running for such a long period of time that there's getting to be a single line. There's getting to be a lot of trash or marbles or gray on the off line, and sometimes with all the traffic, you get offline, it can really mess you up.
That is bodywork from the Iron Dames car in the track. What's happened here? This is it, out of turn 1. She's gone very wide onto the dirt and ripped the floor and the rear bodywork off the car. That's going to be a major drama. Oh, Rahel Fry, the leader of the race. And trouble for Floyd Van Wall. They've got contact at the back. There's a full course yellow. They've been hit from behind, or have they spun?
We're braking before full course yellow, and then I had to touch the brake, touch it slightly, and
So on board with Mikkel Jensen into 17, coming into the full course yellow. And there's the contact that damaged the Floyd Van Wall car and the Peugeot. So Esteban Guerrieri slowing down for full course yellow. Mikkel Jensen caught out. Number 7 Toyota chasing the race leader. The battle is still on in Hypercar for Toyota, leaving their rivals behind them at the moment. And hardly a surprise, this car very well engineered. They understand it totally here. It looks much more of a drivable package at Sebring than it did last year, when it was a bouncy, horrible nightmare for the drivers. And all their rivals, the new cars in Hypercar, they're at the same stage Toyota was last year. And Toyota cannot let that advantage slip. Trouble. Josh Pearson for United Autosports, the LMP2 race leader. Very slow. Lots of puzzled faces. What's going on? Well, this is going to be Sharmi Lacey for Alpine, sweeping through into the lead. Back in LMP2 now, Alpine, as they build the new Alpine Hypercar.
3, 2, 1, full course yellow. We are under full course yellow.
New rule this year, full course yellow means the pits are closed for 3 laps, but the number 8 Toyota is in the pits. Number 7 had just stopped under green. Number 8 has come in. That's a very short stop. Now, you're allowed to come in if you are running out of fuel, and you can take on 3 laps worth of fuel to keep you going until the pits open. Number 8 Toyota back in the pit lane. That is what happened. They did come in when the pit lane was closed. They had to, or they'd run out of fuel. So that has put them on the back foot. The leader has had to make an extra forced stop, and they're going to lose the lead, surely, to the number 7 car, which is behind them, because, no, they haven't. They've managed to keep their nose in front, but they've had to make an extra stop. Now, that is really interesting. That's the first time we've seen the effect of that new rule on one of our front runners. Ferrari versus Porsche. No, it's not 1965. It is 2023. This battle has been going on here for a dozen laps, but overall for 60 plus years between two of the automotive greats. The Porsche goes through. Kevin Esch gets the place. Remember earlier when the number 6 car was struggling with tyres to stay in front of the Cadillac? Esch brought the tyres in well. He's got more grip than the Ferrari. Changed for 3rd. Dorian Pan having a great run in the 63 Prema car. She is the race leader in LMP2. One of 4 female racers in the field, and having a fantastic time. Regular race pit stop now for the 50 Ferrari. Their penalty early on definitely has hampered them. Nick Nielsen takes over. So cycling through their drivers. And this is all part, the driver change particularly, is all part of the team learning how to just smooth up all of these little in-race moments to save themselves vital seconds. They spend hour after hour making the car faster, trying to save 100th here and there, and to give away 3 or 4 seconds in the pit lane is a criminal offence. Kamui Kobayashi, the new race leader from Brendan Hartley. That second pit stop for the number 8 car has definitely not helped them. But it looks as though the balance has changed as the track and the day have got hotter. The number 7 car seems to have a little more performance than the number 8 car. On board with James Collado in Ferrari number 51. This car in 5th place, working his way through the GT class. And right in front, the LMP2 leader, the 63 car. And you can hear the hybrid drive. Ooh, little moment for Collado. Crashed a car in the prologue last weekend. They had to build a new chassis. Got away with that one though. Watch from the outside view, just a little offline, onto the dirty track. Third place car in the pits, the number 6 Porsche. Andre Lotterer will take over from Kevin Est. First hypercar stint for Lotterer. And Porsche, Cadillac, Ferrari battling for the podium behind the lead Toyota pair.
It's very tough to pass with these same type of car, and the cars are quite big on this small track, so I'm happy that I made it and then could pull a gap. But it's a tough day so far, but we are still on it to do a good position with the pace we have at the moment.
Lotterer on cold tyres. Behind him though, Nick Nielsen. He's up to temperature. The Ferrari stopped a little earlier. Down the inside he comes. He's got the grip. Andre Lotterer never likes to give up a place. He's hanging on there. But he can't avoid running out wide in turn 1 or he'll be in the wall and out of the race. Nielsen up to 5th. Midway through the 1,000 miles of Sebring, Toyota Gazoo Racing 1-2, just 2 seconds apart. Cadillac, Ferrari and Porsche battling for supremacy. And then it is Hertz Team Jota leading in LMP2 and Corvette Racing leading in GTE Am. And further back, you can see some of the cars that have had problems. The Iron Dames down in 27th place. And behind them even, some of our hypercars, the 93 Peugeot, it's had its problems, so has the 94 car. Well, the only problem for the Floyd Vanwall machine so far being hit from behind by a rival Peugeot. That's Jacques Villeneuve, Indy 500 winner, runner-up at Le Mans for Peugeot in the diesel era. So a man who's got plenty of racing experience, and oh yeah, Formula 1 world champion, did we mention that as well? What a stellar career this man has had, and he's really enjoying this startup program with Vanwall. Earl Bamber out of the number 2 Cadillac. Richard Westbrook, the third driver, takes over. And still this titanic battle between 3 of our new teams, Cadillac, Ferrari and Porsche, for the final spot on the podium. And who knows, if something goes wrong with the Toyotas, maybe a little more.
Honestly, with the strategy, it's really interesting. I think Porsche and Ferrari are particularly hard on their tyres, so it's pushing them into a window of strategy on their last stop. So I think they're going to rely on some full course yellow at the end. We're now on course to not need another stop, so depending on how that plays out, but to be honest, it's exciting, for the overall category to see a race like this.
Ferrari into the pit lane once more, the number 50 car. Again, regulation stop from them. They come in from 3rd place. So you can see that the Porsches, the Ferraris and the Cadillac are all on slightly different fuel windows. How that's going to work out at the end of the race, nobody can tell yet. If they can, they're not saying. 33, this is our comfortable race leader in the GTE Am class. But we've seen comfortable race leads disappear, haven't we, for United Autosports, and then the drama for the Iron Dames car in this category. Second place overall in the GTE Am class, 77 Dempsey Proton Porsche. AF Course's Ferrari in third, battling with the Kessel Racing Car Guys Ferrari ahead of GR's Porsche. But the Aston Martins losing performance as the day goes on. They are sagging down the order. Toyota leading overall in Hypercar and coming up to put another lap on Jacques Villeneuve. Ooh, over the bumps there. Going into 17, the Floyd Van Wool car in 8th place. And so far, mechanically, it has been absolutely fine. Now here's the battle for 4th place. Robin Frien's 31 WRT car, that's the red LMP2 car ahead of the yellow Porsche, the Iron Lynx car. And then following through on the inside, Fabio Scherer, the green and yellow of Inter Europol. And right behind, Phil Hansen, the 22 United car, almost runs into the back of the GT Porsche. Really got the hammer down there early. Watching that with interest from Inter Europol. And in front of them is the Porsche that was in the pit lane. Out on cold tyres, that Porsche, and holding up the LMP2 machines. And this is the problem with having no tyre warmers, that the car coming out of the pits is very slow. There's no grip. Look at the Porsche. It's just barely getting round turn one. Lawrence Vantor and Fabio Scherer being really held up badly here. And that has allowed the WRT car ahead of these two LMP2s to get away. Fuel stop and driver change for the 50 car. Nick Nielsen handing back over to Antonio Fuoco. 2 hours and 20 minutes of this 8-hour race remain. And the 51 Ferrari still in the race as well. Antonio Giovinazzi now looking to move up into 3rd place. Everything looking fairly chilled and relaxed at Toyota. Caught mid-mouthful of ice cream. And why not on a hot day in Florida? Toyota 1-2. Caddy now up to 3rd as we cycle through the pit stops. The 51 car came in from that 3rd position. And it is taking fuel and tyres. Driver change as well. Alessandro Pierguidi, who started the car, back in. Pierguidi and Collado joined by Antonio Giovinazzi. 3 driver lineup all the way through the season in Hypercar. The reigning GTE World Champions. Can they put their car on the podium here as well on Ferrari's debut in the top flight of sports car racing in the first time for half a century? So qualifying tyres on the right, brand new on the left. That's the side of the car that does a little more work here. Up to 3rd place now, the number 2 Cadillac, Richard Westbrook at the helm. And Caddy seems to be getting stronger and stronger as the race goes on. Porsche's challenge is fading. So the battle for 3rd looks like it might end up being the 50 Ferrari and the number 2 Cadillac. 94 Peugeot having a long stop with major electrical issues. LMP2 leader in the pits, Hertz Team Jota. Now whether they finish ahead or behind of their LMP2 rivals doesn't matter in terms of points, they will not score any. LMP2 leader in the pits. Now the 63 car from Prema stops. United stopping as well with the 22 car. So the 48 Hertz car back to the top of the pile. But Jota, with that livery, in 2 races as we go to Spa, will have a Porsche Hypercar instead of this LMP2 entry. Nicholas Ferroni leading Julian Andlauer. That's the gap. Over a lap advantage for the Corvette racing machine. Kessel Racing in 3rd. Not too far ahead of the AF Corse Ferrari. And just ahead is the Iron Dames car. That could have been the race leader, was the race leader. Will Stevens leading for Jota. Prema and WRT battling behind. And they will take the points here. The 48 car not registered for points. Oh, trouble! Alessandro Pierguidi, damage on the left rear of the Ferrari. Now that's down at 14.15. What has happened here? There's been contact. I don't think he's hit the barriers. Let's take a look on board around the outside of the 54 Ferrari. Was there contact there? He spins. Oh, and hits something else as well. Did he hit the wall or another car? Take a look on the outside. Oh, 54 contact there. And he did hit the Project 1 AO car as well. Oh, too fast, Alessandro. That incident was right by the pit entrance, so he's going to have to go all the way around the lap. And look at that tyre shredding the bodywork. And the real danger is it might pull off oil lines or brake lines. Bodywork ready to go back onto the Ferrari. This has been a long stop for the 51 car. It's vital learning for the team. You'd prefer not to have to learn these lessons, but racing makes you learn them. Full course yellow, and clearing up some of the debris on the track with the jet blowers. And the 51 car behind the wall, this will be a long stop.
The car's clearly quick and it's got a lot of potential. We just need to refine everything in the future to be able to compete with the Toyotas. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but, you know, we're learning quickly. Let's hope the car can, you know, at least get back out and cross the checkered flag.
Back to green flag racing, the Cadillac, the blue car, number 2 in third place. Right behind are the lead Toyotas. Jose Maria Lopez going back past him. Under pressure from Ryo Hirakawa. Can't afford to lose any time here. And of course the number 7 car crashed out heavily in last year's Sebring race. And Jose Maria Lopez also crashed quite heavily in free practice 3. They got the car rebuilt for qualifying. And this is good news for Pachito because he gets away from Ryo Hirakawa down to the hairpin. A little more ground between the two of them. Oh, lots of smoke. That looks like a lock-up for Lopez. He's really having to push hard. On board with Hirakawa. Oh, that is a monstrous lock-up. That is not helping the tyres. Race leader in the... No, it's not. It's the number 8 Toyota. Well, now that's strange. Sebastian Buemi getting on, but the number 7 car has stopped first all the time, and the number 8 car has now stopped earlier. Jacques Villeneuve with trouble. Let's take a look here. Big, lurid spin for Villeneuve on the exit of 17. But that car, there's something wrong with it. Now, look at all the traffic coming behind him. Oh, wide eyes for everybody.
We had an issue with the suspension. Something gave up and I spun. Luckily, it didn't hit anything, but we're going to try and repair now. Get to the end of the race.
Is it those bumps?
Well, it's the same bumps for everyone. So we can't blame it on the bumps.
28 Jota car in the pit lane. LMP2 pit stops are underway and driver changes. Prema back to the top of the pile. United in second place and into Europol looking for a podium here as well. Phil Hansen goes through as the Prema and into Europol cars stop. He is now the leader for United. 23 had a comfortable lead for the first half. What are we seeing here in the hypercar class? Again, it's Porsche versus Cadillac. Again, it's number 2 on number 6. Oh, and a biff for the GR Porsche in GTE Am. Penske Porsche, car number 5, stopping from 6th position. And a driver change here. So this will be the final stop of the race, probably. Certainly the final driver change. Brendan Hartley will get into the number 8 Toyota to take it through to the checkered flag. Long stop for Porsche number 6. What's going on here? They've got a bit of an issue. Kevin Esch sitting and waiting. Now he is released. They have got a bit of an issue. Is the car going to fire? It does. And away he goes finally. Well, you can expect teething problems. These cars have not raced before in WEC. Earl Bamber in the Cadillac. Pulling a screen tear-off. Give him a clear view as we head into the setting sun and the final hour of this race.
What's the state of your tires? Do you think you can triple? Gap behind is still the same, 5.8, 5.6. Do you think you can triple? If they don't change tires, we might want to keep these to keep track position.
Oh, no way.
Copy, copy.
Pretty definitive there for Antonio Fuoco. That was polite radio traffic for, are you kidding me? Now this is interesting. Sebastian Buemi out after a single stint, Brendan Hartley in. The team was saying on the radio that Buemi was not as quick anywhere on the lap as Hartley's best times had been. So maybe this is the final roll of the dice for the number 8 team. They are battling their teammates, number 7. They want to win this race. They're the defending world champions. They won the title and Le Mans last year, and they want to start their defense with a win. Pit stop for the 50 Ferrari in 3rd place. Now this car took pole position its first day in the World Endurance Championship. Can they take a podium as well? Race leader into the pits. Oh, driver change as well for the number 7. Mike Conway taking over. So making sure the driver is as fresh as possible. Shadows lengthening. We are heading towards the Florida evening here in Sebring. Number 50 Ferrari still in 3rd place, clinging on to that podium, but they are still under pressure from the number 2 Cadillac. Either of the newcomers would love to start their season with a podium finish.
It's so early days, we've got to get better. We've got a lot of data to go through after this race and see where we can improve. Obviously we're not happy with the gap to Toyota, but that's down to us. We need to improve in every way. And this is invaluable doing 8 hours here. We've got so much to go through, and we'll come back stronger in Portimao.
They will not match this for speed though. Falcon 9 launching from nearby Cape Canaveral, heading into space at 22,000 kilometers an hour. Once that goes overhead though, all eyes back on ground level into the closing quarter of an hour. Final pit stop for Hertz Team Jota. This will cost them the lead of the race. Look on the map on the right hand side. 63 Prema car coming up behind. Will it cost them the lead? No. They take a splash and out they go. Dorian Pan in the Prema garage watching the action. Will they take victory here? They have the lead now. The Hertz Jota car trying to catch Mirko Bortolotti is Will Stevens. This for victory here. Now, if Jota had to stop, do Prema have to stop as well? Nobody quite sure. Into the pit lane is the Prema car. A change of lead again. They did need fuel. 3 minutes to go, maybe 2 laps shy of the checkered flag. Hertz Team Jota back into the lead. Into the closing stages. Prema dropping behind United. And that might mean that United take top points here unless they have to stop on the final lap. The Toyotas have been the dominant force here, not in qualifying, but pretty much throughout the race. And it will be a 1-2 for the reigning champion team. Toyota Gazoo Racing, car number 7 ahead of car number 8. And for the number 7 team, the 2021 World Champions, they start the season in the best way possible with victory here in Sebring. The checkered flag awaits. They go past the team for the final time, down towards sunset. And there's a classic view of where it gets its name from. That's where you're driving into at the end of the Ullman Straight. The checkered flag is out. The 1,000 miles of Sebring 2023 is over. And it is victory for Toyota, number 7. Toyota Gazoo Racing go 1-2 here to start the season. And all their newcomers, in the words of Richard Westbrook, will have to do better next time out. Pole position and 3rd place for the number 50 Ferrari. That is a good first day in Hypercar.
I think today is just start of the big race coming for 2023. So for sure we need to work, we need to improve, but definitely I'm looking forward to this championship. It's going to be coming really, really exciting.
Victory in LMP2 goes to the 48 Hertz Team Jota car. David Beckman on his debut, Yiffy Yi and Will Stevens. But the points go to the number 22 United car, as 48 is not a full season entry in LMP2. Brand new car, brand new team, brand new teammates for Ben Keating. Nicky Katzberg brings the Corvette across the line as they win in GTE Am. First time for Ferrari on an overall podium in the World Endurance Championship. Toyota Gazoo Racing, the benchmarks in the class, win here, but their experience in this bumpy Sebring track has definitely helped. When we get to smoother European race circuits, how much advantage will they have? Ferrari and Cadillac, with Porsche, Van Wall and the rest, will run them hard and close all season long, but for now, Toyota the dominant force still in the World Endurance Championship. The battle lines have been drawn in all three classes. Toyota, Hertz Team Jota and Corvette Racing come out on top here in Sebring, but this is a very unique challenge and the rest of the season may not be quite the same. Whatever, the challenge will be very different as we get to our next round at Portimao in Portugal.